Hello, my name is Becca. I am 36 years old. I have a wonderful husband and 3 amazing children, 2 boys ages 7 and 9 and a 17-year-old daughter. It seems that I've always done things to warrant funny looks from people. It started more with survival skills when I was about 10 or 11, pretending to live off the land, which was easy to do when you lived out in the country. But as I got older, there were things I did that had my family, friends, and neighbors laughing at me, like scraping a deer hide while I was teaching myself how to brain tan, or transforming a walking stick into a defense weapon. I tell myself that I didn't care what they think. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I am who I am. If they don't like it, tough. But in truth, it did bother me. No one likes to be ridiculed. It hurts. It's embarrassing. It makes one feel self-conscious, and it has you second-guessing everything that you do. And that's why I kept a lot of the stuff that I did private. I started to prep a while back because I noticed things in the world that just didn't seem right. The weather, for one, the economy, things going on overseas, just things that were disturbing that had me wondering, what would happen to my family if something devastating happened. Am I prepared for that? And I kept most of my prepping in the closet because I was afraid of the ridicule. But thanks to Miss Kelly Bishop and her blog, preparednesspro.com, I've begun to come out and become more diligent with my prepping. I have a saying, I'd rather be prepared than be dead. My husband had a saying a while back. It was, I'm not going to stop living because of what ifs. I did not make this video to try to convince you to stop living. What I'm hoping to do is to possibly get through to some of you to make you aware that there's nothing wrong with being prepared. It does not mean you're a fanatic or that you've got a few screws loose upstairs, because I'm not a fanatic and I'm perfectly sane. But you've got to start thinking about the what ifs. There are so many things that could happen. And I'm not talking about aliens coming, landing on the planet and taking over the earth, or zombies walking the streets, eating people alive. I'm talking about some real logical scenarios that could happen. Some examples are a nuclear attack, an EMP, a solar flare, super volcano that's under Yellowstone could erupt, an earthquake, tornado, hurricane, drought, flood, pandemic, depression, or financial collapse. These are all real possibilities that could happen tomorrow or 100 years from now. And it could happen in our lifetime, or it could happen in our children's lifetime. And I would think to myself, what would I do if one of these scenarios would happen? Most of you probably think that if there is a nuclear war, that you're dead. So, so what? You're dead anyway, which is, unless you're at ground zero, is absolutely not necessarily true. If you prepare, there are ways that you can protect yourself from a nuclear attack. And what about a financial collapse? We see it already, and I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I do, because I do the grocery shopping in my house. But I see the inflation in the stores already. Things that I bought last year are twice as much now, and the prices keep going up. You see it in our gas. It's not just the gas that's being affected, though, it's our food. So a good thing that I felt would be good to do is to start stocking up on some of these items that are shelf-stable for a while. And that way I'm paying a lower price for something that could cost twice as much as it does now in a year. And you probably may say to yourself, well, I can't afford to do that. I've seen the TV shows on the television like Doomsday Preppers, and people are spending tens of thousands of dollars on stuff to be prepared. And you don't have to do that. I am certainly not rich. We are struggling. My family and I are struggling. I do not work. I am a stay-at-home mom, and my husband is the only income that comes into this home, and we struggle every paycheck. But I've learned ways to be frugal. I watch for good sales. I coupon. I can save anywhere from $50 to $150 per grocery store trip if I time it right and I use my coupons wisely. And I watched for some really good sales. One of the local grocery stores a couple weeks ago was doing a sale on canned goods, you know, your green beans and your canned vegetables, and corn and peas, and the sale was 3 cans for $1. So you better believe it, I stocked up. Another thing you might be concerned about is, well, I don't have room to do all that. I have no room in my house to store food. Well, if you have a bed, then you have room. You can store items underneath your bed. I utilized the queen-size bed upstairs in my daughter's bedroom, and I've got the entire underneath her bed filled with items. There are ways to do it. Now, if you find yourself, you know, still kind of skeptical about the whole thing, or, you know, this will never happen, you know, it's not going to affect us, you know, do some research. The internet, while we have it, is our friend. Look up some information. It's not just, you know, a few people or a few programs or a few websites telling you should be prepared. My 9-year-old son came home from school a couple months ago, and he handed me a booklet that they passed out to the elementary school students. And it's called Preparing for an Emergency. This was handed out to the elementary school kids. And inside this booklet, it's, you know, about 10 pages, I guess. And the contents are: devise a plan, create an emergency supply kit, arrange for special needs, know the forecast, plan for pets, and about man-made disasters. Now, this is being sent out to elementary schools, or at least it was in my county. If you go to the FEMA website, on hand and food and emergency supplies. It could be not something extremely major that may happen. We got hit with a hurricane last year. We were far enough inland that the only thing we did was lose power for a few days. But, you know, when you can't cook because your electricity's out or your food goes bad in the freezer or the refrigerator, it's a good thing to have those dry goods in stock so you can feed your family. The website that I recommend is Colleen Bishop's website, preparednesspro.com. Things that I've learned from her site I didn't even know were possible, like making eggs shelf stable for 9 months. And yes, I'm talking about going to the grocery store, buying a dozen eggs, and being able to put them in your pantry or in your, you know, somewhere in a cool, dark, dry place, and being able to store them for 9 months without refrigeration. Coating cheese in cheese wax, dry goods in mason jars by using an attachment to a food saver to make them shelf stable. How to can butter. She has a lot of wonderful information on her website. And I hope that I've been able to get through to some of you to at least educate yourself. And once you see the information in front of you, perhaps then you may make the decision to better prepare yourself and your family for the future if some sort of disaster scenario may happen.